We're gonna look at that. Unfortunately, Angel Reese is dead last on this list of players, and I'm not lying. She looks awful in comparison. What if I told you that one of the WNBA's most hyped rookies is actually one of the league's least effective scorers? Her social media following may be enormous, but her shooting percentages tell a different story, one that many of her fans won't accept. It's refreshing to see some shots that actually make it refreshing. Oh, that's Angel Reese's music. You like Mustangs? Your favorite player is Lad Dang, because I'm going to show you a startling statistic that reveals just how awful she is. You'll quickly realize that she's even worse. The numbers don't lie, and when I show you where Reese stands in relation to all WNBA scorers, you'll see why basketball legends are publicly criticizing her game. At the end of this video, we'll share two legends that Reese believed were on her side but are now disparaging her. The gap between perception and reality here is greater than you might think. Are you ready? Let's go. One of the most perplexing things I've noticed this off-season is the dearth of videos showing Angel Reese practicing layups. Angel Reese's layup problem is a real problem, and I don't understand why she seems to be focusing so much on practicing two-point shots just inside the three-point line. She should be working on improving her skills inside 5 feet. Did you know that Angel Reese ranks last in shooting efficiency among all WNBA volume scorers? Her numbers are actually worse than anyone realized, and we need to talk about it. All right, back to business. Brittany Griner, you said you rang when evaluating a player's offensive value. True shooting percentage stands out as the gold standard metric. Unlike basic field goal percentage, true shooting percentage gives us the full picture by accounting for all scoring attempts, including field goals, three-pointers, and free throws. I don't know what baby giraffes did to receive that kind of slander, but I won't stand for it. The WNBA returns in a little over a month. Use their offensive possessions. This metric differentiates the top scorers from the volume shooters in a league where every possession counts. Chicago Sky Angel Reese ended up at the bottom of the list, ranking 30th with a true shooting percentage of just 4%. The disparity between the two rookies, who both had big fan bases and collegiate followings, sparked intense internet comments. Now let's face the unsettling reality. Angel Reese is currently a miserable 46. She ranks 30th in the league with a true shooting percentage of 4%, which is not only below average. To put this into perspective, the majority of seasoned WNBA players maintain numbers well above 50%, with stars frequently surpassing it. Reese isn't even in the same universe. It's nice to look this awkward at work and then declare that you're underpaid. Privilege justice for all baby giraffes out there. I'll fight the good fight. One lesson to be learned from these videos is to never give up, because if she can do it, you can too. You might think, well, she's just a rookie adjusting to pro competition, but that justification crumbles when you look at her peers. Caitlin with an outstanding 58. Clark has the most defensive attention of any rookie. Caitlin Clark may be just beginning her WNBA career, but she's already making waves with both highlight plays and hard data. A recent viral post on X revealed the true shooting efficiencies of the league's top 30 scorers, and it shows that Clark is thriving under the same rookie learning curve that supposedly explains away Reese's struggles. Her 3% true shooting percentage ranks 6th overall in the league, first among rookies and second among all guards behind only Kelsey Mitchell-Clark. Caused a lot of debate among fans. Clark, a rookie for the Indiana Fever, had a true shooting percentage of 58 and was placed 6th overall. Let's pretend for a moment that Clark is the only exception. Well, guess what? Rickea Jackson, the 4th overall pick, is also highly ranked at number 55. True shooting percentage, which accounts for a player's field goals, three-pointers, and free throws, is a crucial indicator of overall scoring efficiency for a first-year player. In the meantime, Cameron Brink came in second. Overall selection and Camila Cardoso, the 3rd overall pick, were excluded from the efficiency list since they were unable to score enough points to have a statistically meaningful base because of their protracted injuries from the previous season. Clark's skill set has transitioned well to the professional ranks, and she is still a threat when she shoots from a distance 33. I mean, she was fourth in two-point field goal percentage, which is where I'd expect Angel Reese to be really good, and second in free throw shooting with an incredible 9% from beyond the arc, placing her 13th in the league while having equally efficient mid-range and inside games. 9% her effective field goal percentage EFG, which accounts for the higher value of three-pointers, was 52. Although the rebounding numbers appear impressive on paper, they are partially inflated due to Reese's own inefficiency. She is literally creating rebounding opportunities for herself by missing shots that most post players would have missed. This is a shocking fact that no one is discussing. Nearly 40% of Reese's well-known rebounds come from collecting her own missed shots. Her effective field goal percentage may be at a league-worst 39 if her true shooting percent doesn't persuade you. Despite her other contributions, Reese's shooting struggles drew criticism. She finished 30th in two-point percentage at 40%. In contrast, Reese is essentially a black hole for offensive possessions. When she touches the ball with the intent to score, the Chicago Sky is statistically better off if almost anyone else had taken that shot instead. This inefficiency ripples through the entire offense, limiting her team's ceiling. God is ranked 29th with an 18 three-point percentage. Even though the majority of Reese's shots come from close to the rim, her effective field goal percentage was a league-low 39.5%. That's insane, and I don't want to hear nothing about a big. Let's look at something. Even from the free throw line, which is frequently a reliable scoring source for bigs, she finished 27th. And guess what? These numbers get worse when we start looking at exactly where her shots are coming from and how she's missing them. We haven't even reached the most damning statistics yet. The truth is that given her usage rate and shot selection, Angel Reese's shooting efficiency is historically poor for all WNBA players. Players with such poor shooting efficiency usually don't maintain high usage rates because coaches simply cannot afford to run offensive possessions through such inefficient scorers. Nevertheless, despite evidence to the contrary, Reese continues to command a significant offensive role. One fan said, "OMG, Angel, get up, girl." Another fan said, "It's at 30. At just 44, those high usage, low efficiency numbers may be worrisome in and of themselves, but they become even more worrying when you consider Angel Reese's performance within 5 feet of the basket, where her 6'3" stature should give her a decisive advantage. In basketball terms, this isn't just disappointing, it's a fundamental failure to capitalize on her most obvious physical gifts. I'll be honest with you, I believe this deal will eventually result in her being benched, because she is only shooting 5% from point-blank range and is being outshot by guards who are 7 inches shorter than her. The WNBA, I believe that will happen eventually because a good coach, if she ever gets one, will look at this and say, "You're 6'4", you're 6'3", you're too damn inefficient, I can't have you on the court." Then you should just focus on honing your skills and worry about everything else after the fact. To put this into perspective, Reese's height of 6'3" and her impressive wingspan should make her a nightmare for defenders close to the basket. Conventional basketball wisdom states that a player of her size should be positioned inside. Reese's 44 points are almost automatic, but she manages to convert these high percentage opportunities at a rate that would make even perimeter players shudder. The majority of WNBA players make these shots at rates between 55 and 65%. 5% really stand out for all the wrong reasons. To make matters worse, she shoots a pitiful 11% from shots between 5 and 9 feet from the basket. That's right, she makes 1 out of 10 shots from mid-range. It's not just a fact that she is bad at lips, but I was looking at her stats and I wrote some down right here, and she shoots a pitiful 39%. A guard who barely reaches Reese's shoulders is more effective in the paint than someone with every physical advantage imaginable. This isn't just about height either. From the field, she shot below 50% on shots that were less than 5 feet away, which is bad. Even worse, shots from 5 to 9 feet were 13%. What makes this statistic especially damning is the comparison to smaller guards who face much greater challenges finishing at the rim. Take Kelsey Mitchell, who is only 5 feet 8 inches tall, who consistently finishes better at the rim despite giving up 7 inches to Reese Mitchell. Reese's finishing technique has certain technical flaws, including poor footwork, inconsistent release points, and a tendency to rush shots even when they are uncontested. One analysis compared her shooting form to a horror show on Basketball Fundamentals, pointing out that she has crossed her wrists and uses a pushing motion that comes from her hips instead of a proper shooting motion. Some fans even compare it to seeing an uncoordinated baby giraffe. This tells you look at the league's most effective big men, like Jonquel Jones, one of my favorite players, Brittany Griner 1 and 2. Take a look at A'ja Wilson, who is 6'3" inches and taller than him, followed by Mitchell and Clark. If you want to compare Angel to someone like Aaliyah Boston, she's 53 years old. She was ranked 13th in the league, while Angel was ranked 30th. Reese's two-point percentage was 7%. The difference is even more noticeable when compared to top post players with comparable physical characteristics, like as A'ja Wilson, who converts 67. Brittany Griner scores 63 points while she only makes 3% of her attempts at the rim. Caitlin Clark, who is 4 inches shorter at 6'0" inches and is subjected to more defensive pressure as a primary ball handler, converts 54. Both players know how to use their size effectively, establishing deep position with proper footwork and finishing with technique instead of just depending on height. Even though she takes more challenging shots and frequently creates her own looks against predetermined defenses rather than receiving passes in established positions, Clark manages to make 1% of her two-point tries. Angel Reese doesn't appear particularly attractive here, but Caitlin Clark did it as it. It's not physical limitations, as Ree has been blessed with the perfect basketball body, nor is it defensive attention. Although she attracts defenders, she avoids the constant double and triple teams that Clark maneuvers through. The inevitable conclusion is that Reese's struggles are caused by fundamental technical flaws in her game. This point-blank inefficiency represents what one source called a career-threatening issue that demands immediate attention when a player's entire offensive value proposition, as they say, they should be converting high-percentage looks close to the basket, but they're failing at that exact task, which raises serious concerns about their long-term viability at the professional level. Let's examine what's actually happening. There is footage online of Angel practicing her game in the lab, but mostly we see her shooting three-pointers. Given that her basketball career is in jeopardy because of her obvious finishing problems, you would think that Angel Reese would be shooting layups until her arms fall off, but her social media accounts a totally different picture. Mechanics that would make any coach cringe. Instead of tackling her direct difficulties, she is strangely concentrating on long-range shooting, which she only converted at the age of 18. Reese's shooting form has technical flaws that are immediately apparent to anyone with basic basketball knowledge. Her inconsistent base creates poor balance from the start, and when she releases the ball, her arms and wrists cross awkwardly, completely disrupting the alignment needed for consistent shooting. Last season she made 8% of attempts, which is like watching someone practice parallel parking before they've learned how to start the car. I hope that this guy and whoever else works with her will work on her technique, because I don't care how many times you shoot like this without anyone guarding. Her jerky release makes it look like someone shot putting a medicine ball instead of shooting a basketball. These are fundamental errors that competent shooting coaches address in middle school players. Alright, so here you see her being fed the ball. She's in the right corner. She gets the ball. And again, if you're going to work on expanding your game, then at least make sure that your technique is correct. The most perplexing aspect of Reese's practice is her unwavering dedication to honing the wrong skills. Her videos feature three-point attempts that clank off the rim, but she ignores the inside finishing that could make her a viable offensive threat. This shows something more than just poor shooting mechanics. It suggests a fundamental misunderstanding of her own value proposition as a player. This misguided training focus isn't just poor basketball decision-making, it's evidence of the situation of a player who is unaware of her own strengths and limitations. When you're 6'3", extremely athletic, and yet you shoot worse from point-blank range than a guard 7 inches shorter, your training priorities should be clear. Instead, Reese seems intent on becoming a player she isn't, which means that instead of making the most of her natural advantages, her arms and wrists are crossed, which is incorrect form. Your wrists should not be crossed, you should be completely aligned with your target. This means that she is shooting with her left hand, which is crossing over her elbow, jutting out. When basketball royalty speaks, smart players pay attention. Unfortunately for Angel Reese, the royalty isn't exactly praising her these days. What began as Hall of Famers' enthusiastic support turned into a much more awkward public intervention. The most telling moment occurred on Reese's own podcast, where WNBA legend Lisa Leslie wasn't holding back when discussing the fundamental problem that is affecting Reese's game in Season 2. What advice would you give me for Season 2? I can't wait to work with you more. It was a 4-time Olympic gold medalist and 3-time WNBA MVP pointing out the career-threatening flaw that Reese keeps ignoring. This is like the WNBA leveling up, and all eyes are on her. Now I believe that she knows that she needs to completely restructure her form, because that is not the way to be efficient in the post position that she is in. At the post position that she is in, a layup is supposed to be a given. She needs to improve her touch around the rim, like while Caitlin Clark trains daily in the gym in game-specific scenarios intended to improve on-court chemistry. Clark's sessions emphasize fundamental shooting mechanics at the mid-range, finishing through contact and screen and cut actions directly applicable to what she can improve in her game. Purposeful development that acknowledges both strengths and limitations is what makes this intervention so striking that it contrasts with the development paths of other young stars. Fans have also noticed this stark difference. After watching Reese's most recent three-point shooting drill video, the question is Reese trying to be Steph Curry or Caitlin Clark? Gets right to the core of the problem, a player who appears intent on becoming someone she's not rather than making the most of her natural abilities. Then came the awkward moment when Shaq delivered what some fans called verbal body shots. You know who you are. You're the female Antoine Jamison. You know who Antoine Jamison is. He got 20,000 points with his shot. Whatever your shot is, like everybody's shot ain't be Steph Curry. Your shot is your shot. One of the most talked about. In contrast to Shaq's own legendary status, Jamison was a capable player who had a respectable NBA career but was never inducted into the Hall of Fame. By portraying Reese in this way, Shaq implied that she was more of a role player than a future icon. This comparison seemed to sting. He called her Antoine Jamison. Most people believe me that she was offended she didn't know who that was. She probably does. She's a basketball fan, but she probably does. For someone like Reese, who has built her brand on unapologetic self-expression, Shaq's unsolicited advice felt more like a dismissal of her entire approach. Oh, she can't be Rookie of the Year 'cause all she do is get the flip shots, get up. Just remember all that they say, Shaq said, dismissing Reese's layup technique as basic. You're too worried about what people think. Stop caring and just focus on your game. It's like watching someone with a flat tire stop to polish their hubcaps. The game's legends, fans, analysts, and even Reese herself seem to notice it. The numbers clearly show that despite Angel Reese's ongoing struggles with basic shooting, Caitlin Clark is quietly revolutionizing the WNBA with her incredible efficiency. Basketball legends are also taking notice. We knew that Caitlin Clark was this incredible talent, but she was entering a league that she was unfamiliar with. She was a rookie, and the Indiana Fever have Clark's deep shooting is still deadly, but what's really amazing is how her mid-range and interior scoring have translated to the professional level. Her impact goes beyond statistics. She's changing the way the game is played. They have a lot of amazing pieces, but the fact that they made it into the playoffs and were a team that, even though they didn't, advance far in the playoffs, were a team that we kept saying if you face them, they're going to make it difficult for you. For women's basketball fans, 2025 promises to be a unique season where basketball IQ, efficiency, and teamwork take center stage. Are you excited? Let us know in the comments, like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the video on the screen and we'll see you in the next one. The Indiana Fever are reportedly building around a player who elevates everyone around her.